afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, televiewers of 7 News Television. I know you people have been missing this program for some weeks now, but you know, man makes machine, but at times they disappoint us. Due to some technical faults, we're out of your view. Today, we are taking back the relay battle of experts. Remember, this is your program that makes you know about the pertinent things of the society. Many are those who don't know the importance of humanitarian activities in our country. But let me tell you, even the Bible says, if you have something to eat and your neighbor is hungry, you don't help him, then you are a failure. This moment, we have two specialists, experts on humanitarian activities. One is from a faraway country known as Finland. He's no other person than Mr. Keiyo Paajaneen. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello.
So how was your trip from Finland to Cameroon?
Well, it's a long trip, but very nice.
Today we are going to talk about the importance of humanitarian activities.
Yes, that's very nice, and it's very important.
Good. I know you are a humanitarian.
Yes. Well, last summer, July, I was participating the vaccination study in Benin, in a small village called Grand Popo, and that is a new vaccination being tested. I was like a guinea pig. It's called ETVAX, and it's against ETEC, which is killing thousands of children in Africa. And it's led by Professor Anu Kantele from University of Helsinki, and the pharmaceutical company is Scandinavian Biopharma Corporation. And this whole study is financed by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, so it's huge. And they told me that the only thing Bill and Melinda Gates has said is that you can sell that vaccination to the Europeans with high price, but low price to Africa.
All right, that sounds interesting.
Yes.
On my right, we have Mr. Kenneth Agbo.
Yes, thank you.
You are a CEO of a company, but involved in so many humanitarian actions. So, can you tell us detailing who Mr. Kenneth Agbo is and how comes he's having a company in Cameroon?
Well, I was formerly representing a European company from Finland, where my friend, Mr. Paajaneen, Keiyo, comes from. I was the representative of this company, called Ensto, until last year, when I had my own company as a branch from this office. And I'm still doing the same line of activities, which is concerned with the distribution of electrical power, and I'm working still on this domain till this day. So, concerning the humanitarian part, I had my inspiration from him. I have been living in Russia for quite some time. I've been there for close to a decade. And I met with him in Finland when I also was in Finland working. And I saw the help and the heart he had for Africans, and it really motivated me. We chatted a lot, and he helped me go through some difficult times as well. And I knew that he could be somebody very useful to my country and my society. That's why I told him I would love to invite him to visit my country, and he's here today, like you see.
Yes.
Oh, welcome to Cameroon.
Thank you very much, but this is not the first time. For the second trip and the third time in Africa.
So this is your second trip?
Yes. I was last September. I was here also like 2 weeks, and I really enjoyed. But that was my first touch, and now I enjoyed more because I already know many of the places and already many people here, and I'm so surprised that everybody is welcoming me with warm heart. It's so nice. I love you people.
Okay, Mr. Keiyo.
Yes.
What are your likes in Cameroon? What have you found very interesting since you entered my country?
Well, I always say that, of course you have a beautiful nature, but it is the people who make your country.
You're right.
But I have to say at the same time that the traffic is terrible.
Are you trying to tell me that's the dislike?
Well, I love to drive car and motorcycle back home, but here I take driver chauffeur.
So how can you compare the driving system here and that of your country?
Well, it's quite chaotic here, I have to say. So, I mean, we have in Finland and in Europe we have strict rules that pedestrians can walk. You have to stop to let the pedestrians go and on the pedestrian area, and also in roundabouts, the one who is making the circle, he has the right to drive, and the one coming from right has to stop.
Okay.
And those are, and well, let's say that our driver Peter, he's man behind the wheel. He's very good driver, so I'll let him do the job here. So
that is very good, Mr. Keiyo.
Yes.
You talked of visiting Cameroon the second time.
Yes.
How many African countries have you really visited to carry out the humanitarian activities?
Well, I know that in Black Africa you don't count Tunis as Africa, but I've been to Tunis, Benin, Togo, and Cameroon, and I don't know if you count, but I've been to Seychelles also.
Yeah.
But it's Africa, I think.
It's Africa, that's true.
Yeah, yes. But I love it here. I mean, especially, somebody asked me that, what would you like to bring from Africa to Finland? I said, easy to answer, good manners.
All right.
Yes.
You were talking about Benin. What took you to Benin?
Well, it was this EDVAC's vaccination study, which they asked for volunteers, and I said that when I read about it in newspaper, I said, that's where I should really go, because also of the importance, of course there are always risks if you take a vaccination that's like never been tested with human beings. But, I'm old enough to take the risk. So, and actually I didn't have any diarrhea, so I think because 400 of the group all the people going there in 1.5 year time, there will be 800 people from Finland there. 400 will get the vaccination and 400 not. So we don't know what happened, but because I didn't get any diarrhea, and about half of them got the diarrhea there on the trip. I have to say that I've never been so openly talking with people about diarrhea or things around that. I don't speak now, but there we spoke a lot.
If you said some people were affected and you did not, which means your immune system is more stronger than theirs.
No, I think I got the vaccination.
Okay.
And that protected.
That protected you.
And even here I have no problems in my last trip or this trip. So probably it will be very effective vaccination. And as I said, that it still will take a long period when it's on the pharmacies. When it comes, it will be a big thing to Africa. Yes. And so I'm proud that I've been, part of the process. Yeah.
For how long was your expedition in Benin?
So it was like 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks there will fly like 30 people from Finland.
All right.
And so the local people like Metero, who is the football man there, he can in every 2 weeks he can rest one day, and then there's the next group coming. So it's hard work for them. And by the way, in Grand Popo there is Villa Karo, which is a Finnish African cultural center, and so there are also always like stipendiates from Finland, writers, artists going there, and they have a nice place there to work.
Thank you very much, Mr. Keiyo. Oh, Mr. Kenneth Agbo, you've been working with Mr. Keiyo for some time, and he's talking about diarrhea. You know very well that diarrhea has been something that is disturbing our children nowadays. So you as a humanitarian activist or a crusader, what are your own contributions you've been making?
Well, the first and most important part was to make him, he was my friend.
Okay.
He is my friend still. And his passion for Africa started and began while I was still in Finland. And I knew that he loved Africa so much. His heart is really tender and he really wants to give much to the African society. And I thought about it, and I thought the only way I could help him, first, many of our brothers would like to stay in Europe, but I thought to come back home because I know my friend can come here and he can have an effect on the lives of many Africans, and particularly Cameroon, where I come from. So that is why, while I came here, I've been fighting so hard to make him come here since 2010. His first visit was some few months ago when he came, and I was really looking at, just observing him to see if he could really easily adapt to the system.
Okay.
Well, he went with a kind of, he was not really stable in his decision. He really didn't see much of Cameroon because at the time he came, I was really afraid. I had to control what he eats and have to make sure I'm there for him when he goes out and things like that. But now I have given him the opportunity to meet people, and he really enjoys it. He really, for 3 days he had so much fun that I think he can live on his own in Cameroon.
Yeah.
I think also he is already having an impact on the local society with the people he meets. He is having already some influence, and he's doing quite good with the surrounding.
Thank you very much, Kenneth. Mr. Keiyo, you're from Finland. Now you're in Cameroon.
Yes.
Do you have any outstanding projects that you want to carry into my country?
Well, now the reason of my trip is that my rich Finnish industrial magnate, I would want to mention his name because he don't want any publicity, but he's financing Roy's businesses here, and so I'm actually now reporting to him. And, but what he said when I left, that you go, but you don't fly business.
That sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
So
we Finns, we don't want to spend money if not necessary. So
that's true.
But then again, I have this son Agustin in Benin, so with very small money I can change one boy's whole life. So it's important to me.
You're talking about a son in Benin.
Yes.
So can you tell us more about it, and how did it happen that you have to adopt a son in Benin?
Yeah, well, as I was on this EDVAC project as a guinea pig, Agustin was hanging around this Villa Caro, which I think is also run some things, even to the manager of the Villa Caro, and so he's selling salted peanuts to tourists.
Yeah.
And I forced everybody to buy peanuts from him, and so he made a very good business, and I think he is a future businessman.
All right.
A young, energetic boy, and so I liked him, and I really want to support him. So, for example, he has a problem with reading and writing, so now I arranged him an extra teacher, private teacher. So he's having a teacher 3 times a week now.
We're talking about Benin. Can you tell us about the financial situation
in
Benin?
Well, I have to say that it's a big difference between Cameroon. It's very poor there, I have to say. And so it's you're doing, much better here. I can say. I was even saying that since 6 months I was here last time, I kind of see a process going on, and it's also, I think that for example, which I think is important, is that now almost everybody has an access to internet, because the internet is in the air. So that's very important for the economical process, and I I wish you could have a little bit better cars, I have to say.
So talking about orphans, there are so many orphans in Cameroon and underprivileged children as well. If you are given the opportunity, will you do more?
Well, probably so, but I don't trust these international organizations, which names I will not mention here, who are asking money to send it to these kids, but these organizations mostly eat like 90% of the money. So what I'm doing with Agustin is that all my aid goes directly, and Keiyo Meteo, my friend there, the football guy, he's my trusted man there, and he takes care that all the money I will send is going to the benefit of Agustin.
All right, Kenneth, you have been working with Mr. Keiyo Paajaneen, and you have been in Cameroon for some time. You know the situation of Cameroonians, and many people have abandoned their children. Some are dead already, and I know you've been working so hard in order to ensure that some people have food on the table. Can you tell us what prompted you to do this?
Well, being a kid, I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth, though. I grew up from a family of people who had to struggle. I grew up like an orphan, and in my life, I have a lot of friends. My life, I've been alive that friends have participated a lot. So I wanted to also have an impact on the environment and the people around that I meet. I take into priority the less privileged children who, because I've been part of that team, and also I try to help those I can that I feel, because sometimes people may look that they need help, actually they're just being lazy, and I am very careful in that domain. I try to help people I feel really need help. Yes, and I try to do it directly without passing through any organization, like he said, because it's good to do it yourself. That's sure true. That you're actually doing some good to somebody. Well, actually, there are some challenges that usually go with things like this, with these activities like this. Like for instance, you have sometime giving money to somebody, you feel that the person needs help, and before you turn around, the person is either buying a beer or buying cigarettes and smoking right in front of you. It sometimes kills me. I see somebody. There's a lot of fictitious things going on in my country, not only in Cameroon, everywhere. But I just think that the inner strength of me is keeping up, because I don't give up. I try still to maintain, and I try to help people as much as I can. Those who don't have food, I try to help if I have. I always love to share what I got. So it's part of me. It's how I grew up, and it's how I believe that I'm going to continue.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's the first part of your program, Experts. Let's have this report by one of the reporters of 7 News before we get back to the second part. Many Africans, including Cameroonians, are ignorant of the fact that they can make wealth through the resources around them. The proper use of crops and waste in the environment we live can help us have sustainably and renewable energy, therefore spending less on energy sources.
You have sugar crops, but you also have the grains, the cereals. You also have the oil crops. But you can also have the residues and the waste. So all that can be used for different kinds of biofuels. So local farmers can grow the feedstock, harvest it, and supply to some processing plant.
Biofuel production, which englobes a lot of elements for it to be sustainable and reduces energy waste, is considered in a way by some school of thoughts as a threat to food security.
The critics of biofuels stipulate that biofuels is a threat to food security. Depending on which crops we utilize in the biofuels processes, we tend also to use food crops like maize, sorghum and other crops that, especially in the context of Africa, may deprive people on the ground from their food stocks. We also talk about land grabbings. We talk about potential for conflict.
Worthy of note is the fact that biofuel production have to respect the certified standard for it not to be harmful to humans. Welcome back, viewers of 7 News Television. If you're just tuning in, you're set. This is your program known as Experts. Today, we are talking on the importance of humanitarian activities. With us at the studio, we have an expert from Finland known as Mr. Keiyo Paajaneen. Mr. Keiyo Paajaneen.
Yes.
We are talking about humanitarian activities, and we know African population, especially those of the sub-Saharan Africa,
Yes.
are dying of starvation.
Yes.
We've just followed a report where we can use some of our crops
Yes.
to generate energy in order to make income. Is that the same thing that's happening in your country?
What do you mean?
I mean, do you use food crops to renew energy in order to make some money?
What do you mean? What use what? I don't understand.
Okay, let me put it this way.
Yes.
Mr. Keiyo,
Yes.
in African society,
Yes.
there are so many people who die of starvation, and
Yes.
you are a humanitarian
Yes.
activist.
Yes.
What contribution are you going to make in order to help the African population, apart from what you are doing in Benin?
Well, I don't now exactly understand your question, so sorry.
All right, Mr. Kennedy, we are just following that report made by a reporter of 7 News Television, talking about biofuel and
Yes.
using crops to renew energy.
Yeah.
So, you are an energy expert. Do you think that is important in our culture today?
It is very important to the African society for sustainable development that some of these products, natural products that we have, can be used to access to energy, to access some energy. Well, in Finland, actually, where I have lived with Mr. Paajaneen, if I could just come back to the question you're asking, they are using a lot of, well, people have different sources of energy. They have the windmill, they have the dams, and they have diesel engines, but mostly they use energy, they use environmentally friendly, because this is where Africa is falling. If you go around Africa, you see that we have a lot of dumps of plastic bags, plastic materials. We have materials which are totally not environmentally friendly. But these people, they consider the environment is very clean and very neat. The air is pure because they use environmentally friendly.
Yes, now
environmentally friendly products.
Okay,
so I think he can now add, because I think he has some. He knows what we are talking about.
Okay. Yes, because nowadays in Finland we are even burning the waste.
All right.
So we don't any dump yards anymore. Everything is burned, and also what is left from the food is processed to gas and so on. And for example, where I live, we put the waste to vacuum tubes, which takes them far away. And we don't see even the dumpster cars there anymore. So it's vacuumed to central place.
You are a supporter of football.
Yes.
I know that. And there is this football academy in Benin that you've been supporting.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, it's arranged by my friend Humanitarian, and it's like we call it EduFood, and it's based in Krampopo, and it's now we are taking good players under 16 years and under 19 years, and for example, this year I have sent a huge amount of football shoes for the boys and footballs for the boys, which I didn't pay, but I got a donation from Huma Finland. So Huma said that no problem, we can help you, and that's, you still have good people around. You just have to go and ask. And now actually it's not 100% sure yet, but we're going to have the first professional footballer from Benin in Finland this year. Yes, and I'm involved in that process. and I definitely say I get not a cent of money from that.
From that?
Yes, I do it just from my heart.
Just from your heart?
Yes.
That is why you're a humanitarian, because you're doing it from your heart.
Yes. Well, I hope so.
You hope so. So how many people are there in the academy? Or players are there in the academy?
In the academy, there are now, if you count all together, there are like, I would say 30 boys at the moment.
Boys.
Yes.
That's huge.
But it's also because you said that it's hard to say, but we have to be strict, and he said that he only takes the good players, because our idea is that we can in future generate world star footballers. And Yo has been playing himself no more, but as a professional, so he knows a lot about it.
Yeah. You're in Cameroon. If you're given the opportunity to live here permanently, how will you look at it?
Well, of course, my home country is Finland, but let's say that, like 2 months ago, we had like minus 30 degrees centigrade. It's very cold. So I was wondering that when I retire, I could, for example, spend my winter time here 3-4 months. That could be a very good idea, because I love your country, but I also love Finland. But I love Finland only summertime. And in Finland, here you have like 12 hours sunshine, but in midsummer in Finland you have 24 hours sunshine, and that gives you.
I actually enjoy that much.
Yeah, and that gives you power to survive the winter.
24 hours. That means you don't have a night.
No night. So
So where do you people sleep?
Well, we have to have black curtains on the window. Otherwise, it's hard to sleep.
Right, though.
Yeah.
The first time I spoke with you, you told me your heart is in Africa.
Yes.
So,
it is.
What motivated you to transfer your heart from Finland to Africa?
Well, I don't know. I've been always interested in Africa, and also you have to understand that people in Finland, we are sometimes not so nice to each other.
Right.
And when I come here, everybody is so nice to me that I almost start crying. It's wonderful. You're wonderful people, and like it's always a dialogue, language, culture, history. The basic things. You have to adjust yourself, and so at the same time it's so different here. But as I said already earlier, it's the people who make your country, and it's a beautiful country, and really all the people are treating me very well here, and I will say thank you for that.
All right, Skeletabo, you are the CEO of Royal Engineering and Consulting Company.
Yes.
And you are involved in humanitarian activities. Can you tell us a little bit about this Royal Engineering and Consulting Company?
Royal Engineering is into many activities, ranging from developing and marketing electrical system and supplies for dependable and efficient distribution of electrical power. Mm-hmm. And we also have a sector for consultancy, which means if something is concerned with maybe electronics, we can also help on that domain, because we do both electrical and electronic engineering. We also have other activities like real estate. People looking to get good homes, the technologies of home like the SEEP technology, which is now coming in, and we are promoting all these activities in Royal Engineering. But the main activity in it is for efficient and sustainable distribution of electrical power.
So how is this company linked to humanitarian activities?
Well, we are facing a lot, development in countries, in many countries go with electrical power. When people have power, a lot of things come to that zone. So I believe that this is just a door that I found could bring me closer to the people and the population around me. So I think it really has some really good influence on me because I got into this through the same system.
Let me find out of curiosity.
Yes,
the
please.
last time I was in Boya, there is an office already set up.
Yes, please.
And some people will be working under you.
Yes.
And how are you going to do your selection? Are you taking from the underprivileged or those who are already up there?
Well, the thing I would like first of all to count is I would like to have the youths into play than having people say, oh, what experience. The youths have to learn to get the experience in the field. So I will need to use the youths to get to the experience. So I think that the only thing I would like to change in this domain is to have more youth work for me than having people who are already
Experienced.
I want to give them the experience myself in the field.
In Cameroon, we have this tendency of family relations,
Yes.
even if the person is not competent.
Yes.
And that is what has been hampering or disturbing the economic growth of the country.
Yes.
Are you going to base your interest on your family
Well,
background or what?
I am one of the people who is very hard with this kind of a thing. I am very, very, kind of very strategic in my way of dealing with people. I think that family is family and business is business. That is first, I have to define that. So I try to put priority to know that if I'm doing business, the interest of the company comes first before any family relationship. I would rather prefer to have my business go forward than having a family to move me behind. So my family, who are those? Because you define the family depending on how you say it. My family is the people I work with. My family are those who help me to move forward and bringing me behind. Yeah, so that's my family. My family can be anybody. It can be people I meet in the street. Just say good word, good morning, and give me good mood. It can be part of me. So if you are working for me, you are competent in that field.
Mr. Keiyo, let me to understand at the beginning of this program that he has been sent by somebody to see how your company is going on.
Yeah.
So, what are you promising him in order that he should not leave this country being disappointed?
Well, he has seen a lot of works I've done already, and I'm not relenting. He knows me from Finland before even my boss could even take me for this project. He could accept financing me for this project. They know who I am. They know I'm very hardworking. I don't sleep until my job is done. So I think that I'm still going to burn more. I just need to burn more to show them what I can do, so that in order to motivate them, because I know these people, I love these people. I want these people in my country because it's going to help my country move. It's going to have a lot of impact on the environment, and I'm going to smile all the time I walk and see the handwork of these people in my country. They are very good people, I can tell you.
All right, Mr. Keiyo.
Yes.
You are in Africa, particularly Cameroon.
Yes.
What do you like mostly in the African continent?
As I told you earlier, the environment is, of course, and the climate is beautiful, especially here in Yaoundé. It's not so humid. I enjoy a lot. But I keep repeating myself, but the people are wonderful and so positive thinking, and sometimes like Finland is one of the richest countries in the world, and people are always disappointed. We have free schooling, we have free hospitals and etc. Still people are complaining, and I said that why don't you use your energy to help Africa? It's just that I don't understand, because people should be the things are so well which I can't understand. But when I'm in Africa, I don't have to listen to that.
You are in Africa. Can you tell me a little bit about your academic background?
Yes, well, that's not exactly what I'm doing for my work, because I'm actually a jeweler in Helsinki. That's my main job. But I studied in the University of Helsinki social sciences, Bachelor of Social Sciences. My main is economic and social history, and the side subject is economics. So I have some understanding how the economics works. And in that respect, what I've seen now, I predict good, not great, but good future to Cameroon. I can't promise to create yet.
Okay. I learned you've been helping not only people in Africa and others that you met out of Africa, and maybe in Russia or Finland. Can you tell us any person you've helped out of Africa?
For example, now I have one guy from Nigeria who is actually one of these refugees who had gone with this rubber boat to Italy from Libya. So he has been living 8 years in Italy, but there it is very hard to find a job. Now he has moved to Finland, and now I'm like helping him with the Finnish immigration system, because that's a little bit difficult. So sometimes they need somebody to help. Also, when my Iranian friend, he got married in Iran, there was a difficulty for her wife to move to Finland, and I helped. And the immigration asked questions from him like that, does she understand anything about the system in Finland? And I wrote all the text. I said, yes, very well, our schooling system is the oldest in the world. So she got a permission to come to Finland. Some small things, which takes few hours of your life.
Yeah.
Where I can help, I help.
That's good.
That's my idea.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keiyo. We have to follow the second report before we continue.
Yes.
Dear viewers of 7 News Television, we've come to the second part of this program, Experts. We have an interesting report made by one of the journalists of 7 News Television. She's known as Mabel. Mabel, can we have what you tell us about tobacco in the school milieu?
Cameroon is counted among countries where tobacco consumption in the youth milieu is rapidly gaining ground, an act which is detrimental to the human's health. Reason why the Cameroon Coalition for Tobacco Control organized a workshop this Tuesday, 3rd of April, to sensitize the population.
Coalition is asking the stakeholders to come with us, and we are insisting that the youth are the main target of the industry. So what we are doing like today is to call all the stakeholders to assist us to support the regulation banning the activities of the industry around the schools.
According to a report published in 2014 by the World Health Organization, students between the age of 13 to 15, making up 31.2%, had consumed cigarettes before the early age of 10, while 5.7% and 9.5% are still consuming tobacco and other related products. Due to the adverts made by industries producing this product and the availability in the school milieu, this has been an attractive force to the youths.
Nous avons des mécanismes, ou bien nous avons mis en place, moi particulièrement, un groupe dans le club éthique qui s'appelle le groupe ENDIC, qui me signale régulièrement toutes les formes de déviance qui se passent dans les salles de classe. je peux être dans mon bureau, je peux vous dire que telle chose se produit en terminale C. Vous ne saurez jamais qui m'a vendu l'information. Donc s'il y avait ce genre de phénomène, je serais au courant.
Therefore, it is high time for the government to react in order not to destroy our youth.
Thank you very much, Mabel, for that wonderful report. Many people fail to understand that tobacco consumption is dangerous to our health. It is important for us to know that taking or consuming tobacco, drugs, you are not killing anybody, but you're killing yourself gradually. It is a highway to our graves. Be warned and be careful. With us, viewers of 7 News Television, we have people talking about the importance of humanitarian activities in the world. Mr. Keiyo Paajaneen is from Finland. He's here with us to tell us more about that. Mr. Keiyo,
Yes.
we are talking about humanitarian activities
Yes.
in the world.
Yes.
You are in Africa.
Yes.
You are in Cameroon.
Yes.
You've been doing that in Benin.
Mm.
You are here to support Kenneth.
Yes. Yes.
So, what are you going to take back home if you're asked what is the situation, the humanitarian situation in Cameroon? What are you going to take back home?
Well, I know some influential people in Finland, so I'm definitely going to talk with them, and also the main news channels and people from there. I start talking because the point is that, for example, we have the national TV for US Radio in Finland, and actually they just hired a new editor to Africa, which is good. Next step. But I was just saying that, for example, the things that happened with the language people here, no reports in Finland at all.
Yeah.
And I was about to write to the editors that, please, how can you know, we have to know what is happening
in Africa.
And that is actually one of the things I'm going to push now is to get more news from Africa.
Okay.
Because people, if they didn't know, then and also I'm going to talk with some people what kind of help we could arrange, and also, like I said, that help must come like directly, not through any organization. Because even the Finnish government organizations, they are not very effective.
Right.
They are just losing the money. And if I give 100, I give 100, then it must be that way, because I don't want to even to be honest, even if you give money to the Red Cross, how much goes to the final
price. That's true.
And we should start talking openly about these things. And those guys in big international organizations, they truly travel in the business class. Not me.
I know. All right. What can you really do to improve the condition of the African society if you're given the opportunity?
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking, and education and schools are those things that you really should invest, because good education, that will make your country to grow, and also which is very important is the schooling for girls.
Yeah.
Because the fact is that the population is
increasing
growing too fast.
Yeah.
For example, in Nigeria, where what you have like 100 million people. So 250 million. Okay, so you can count that if the population growth is like 1 or 2%, how many people it is.
That's true.
To be feeded, and that's why it's and on that area and now I speak also like social historian, because that's what I've been studying, is that girls going to school is the best solution for the too much growth of the population, and it's just plain fact.
All right, Kenneth, let me just few minutes. What is power? We are talking about power here.
It depends on what sector you look at power. I can say power is money.
All right.
Okay. And if you look at it in a scientific point of view, that's in physics, power is the ability to do work. If you come by sector, electrical sector, power, the generation and transportation and then distribution, work is done. So power is just the ability to do some work.
Okay, thank you, Kenneth. All right, viewers of 7 News Television, we are going to follow this excerpt cut by Otans Ogbono talking about the parliamentary sessions or what the government has done or has not done in our country.
The Constitution gives members of Parliament or the Parliament of Cameroon the right to check the government. So the government cannot come and give us promises. The only person who is qualified to do that is the President of the National Assembly. We are supposed to check the work of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister has been sent for more than 2 years to the Northwest and Southwest regions. He has been unable to bring back normalcy to those regions. Our children are not going to school, gendarmes are being killed, people are threatened, and so on and so forth. And so they are accountable for that, and they have to come in front, they have to come before the representation of the people, national representation of the people, to tell us what they have done to fail so badly. So that is why he is not qualified to give us that promise. And we didn't ask for a promise, we want a debate. We initially asked for a debate on Boko Haram when Boko Haram started, and I think many Cameroonians from that debate understood what Boko Haram was all about. Even those who had sympathy for Boko Haram didn't have any sympathy after our debate in the National Assembly, and were asking for nothing more than that.
Thank you very much for that wonderful excerpt cut by Otans Ogbono. Viewers of 7 News Television, gradually we are drawing the curtain close. Today we are talking about the importance of humanitarian activity. With us is Mr. Keiyo Paajaneen of Finland. Mr. Keiyo,
Yes.
you are here with Kenneth.
Yes.
For how long have you been working with him, or for how long have you known him?
Well, I've known him over 10 years now, so we became the best of friends when he was in Finland, and so it was, life can surprise you, that, I had in my jewelry store, I had this occasion, like a jewelry show, and so I asked Kenneth that is this stupid idea, but you be there like a butler.
Yeah.
And he said, oh yeah, that's a great idea. And so we had this show, and so my friend, who is now financing him, said, oh, I want to have a black butler too. And I said, so he said, can he work for me? I said, well, we should ask. Right. And the rest is history. Kenneth started to be his personal assistant in Finland, and
okay.
And now we're on the next level when Roy came back to Cameroon, and now he was here working for the Insta Corporation, and now he has his private enterprise, and he's now privately financing Kenneth here.
All right, Mr. Kenneth Agbo. Keiyo, you said you've been friends for over 10 years. How did you get to know him?
Well, I actually quite remember, but I think we've gone such a long way, and how we began, if I can remember, maybe in a bar, we sat, we discussed, and then we exchanged numbers, and later we met, we had lunch, sometimes we even went to gym together. It's been quite a long way. With him, it's been an interesting ride, I can say. because I learned a lot and I grew up so quick.
Mr. Keiyo,
Yes.
will you consider visiting Cameroon again?
Oh yes. Well, if everything goes right, I wish to come here next time in the end of this year.
All right.
But of course, it depends also how the trip is going to be financed, if you know what I mean.
I know.
But definitely, I mean, I really want to come here again, and also, we are with him. We are visiting his customers, and it's also good to because I know something about business. It's also good that I have a idea what's really going on, and also we. Last time we visited some of the state offices.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's very interesting.
Okay, thank you very much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Keiyo Paajaneen,
Thank
for
you.
taking part in this program.
Yes, I'm very proud to be here. I mean, this is, I remember one thing. I was in the front of library in Florida, United States, and they wanted to interview me. I said, "Okay, where are you from?" I said, "From Finland." They said, "From Finland, then we cannot interview. We want Americans."
That sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
Mr. Kenneth Agbo,
Yes.
I must appreciate your coming.
Thank you so much.
Oh, viewers of 7 News Television, we have come to the end of this program known as Experts. May I remind you that the program is every Thursday and Tuesdays for the English language. Don't go away. Keep on watching 7 News Television. Without the technicians like Eve and Guy, without editors like the only lady who has the name of Ogbono, Otans Ogbono, without editors like, let me say, Terin Damba, I don't want to call him Tebiri Football. Masa Kwakam is a cameraman as well. Not forgetting Atulet, who has been with us here at the studio. Club Elite Plus is next in your program on 7 News. We love you all, and may God bless you. Keep on watching 7 News. Thank you.